All right, so previously I said time, space, but I'm in space, time. So this is black hole space, time. I'll just click on it to go to the next slide. So black holes are basically a curvature in space, time. This event occurs when a superstar like the sun reaches its supernova, meaning it expires and creates an explosion so extreme that it curves space and time. So the gravity in these black holes is so powerful that space-time, which is a fabric of 3 dimensions, which would be X as like plane we're on right now that we stand on. Y would be the height, and the third dimension, Z, would be like the slope, right? That's where we are, like we extend out between the floor and then this height. Where I am is like Z, right? So that would be the 3 dimensions of space, according to, so this is a Cartesian plane, and that's X, Y, and Z, plus the 4th dimension, which is height. So the 4th dimension would basically be like a copy of Y, or it would be a copy of Y, which would be time. So if you could imagine, or I'll just go ahead and draw it. 3D time. I can't draw 3D shapes, but it's basically like a box, you know what I'm saying? So like if you imagine a box inside of this room, like that's what time would be, like how we exist in time. So when a sun explodes, it changes the time and everything in the space going on. So it was discovered by Einstein's theory of relativity, where it's been so far that it becomes a whole. So like in YOLO object detection, which came out in 2016 by Joseph Redman, it's real-time object detection system that can recognize and locate objects within an image or a video stream. So like this, there's the X, Y, and Z axis with the WH base. So it's like basically a box inside of a box, where W doubles as X is the width and H doubles as Y is the height. So like I was just trying to show you, like with me inside of this room, I don't know if you can see this picture too well, but like you can see the car here, then the woman here, then everything in the background, right? So like satellites and traffic control and like those cars that drive without drivers can detect what's going on in 3D reality, because they basically box it, right? They I forgot what that's called, but they basically they put it in brackets, and so you can detect how far something's coming, how far you are away from something, and how long it takes that thing to get there. That's how we figure out GPS and everything. And so that's just the diagram for it. And so this X, Y, W, H, YOLO object detection maps of 4 dimensions of space and time. As I mentioned above, is the fabric that black holes bend. It's basically the 2-dimensional space of X, Y stretched into a box, basically copied to basically flat space extended so that it becomes 3-dimensional. And so while it's moving, meaning time, right? So as we go through this box and as we go through everything, that's how time is tracked, because we're going through bended space and time as far as how I identify what's being said. So which is the 4th dimensional space-time fabric. Go to the next slide. So scientists from the Institute of Organic Chemistry and Biochemistry, Prague, the Institute of Physics of the Czech Academy of Sciences and Palacky University, Olomouc, have once again successfully uncovered the mysteries of the world of molecules and atoms. They have experimentally confirmed the correctness of a decades-old theory that assumed a non-uniform distribution of electron density in aromatic molecules. This phenomenon significantly affects the physiochemical properties of molecules and their interactions. So this finding of the mysteries of molecules and atoms relates to my theory of black holes, because when I look back at an article I read that came out last year, where researchers confirmed the existence of so-called pi hole and aromatic hydrocarbons, as in like scent, right? So how we sense things, right? We find electrons in the clouds above and below the plane of carbon atoms. So as atoms, that create everything that exists in our reality, we see like cloud fields around it, right? But like if you have like something like the sun giving off electronic density to it, I guess, or if it's absorbing like electrons from the sun, it'll pull electrons out of its magnetic field, out of the magnetic field of the atom, ripping holes in it. So that's what like creates like the black hole, like the space-time in our reality. In aromatic carbon, if we replace the peripheral hydrogens with more electronic negative atoms, that pulls electrons out, and it turns into a positively charged electron holes by ripping holes in the aromatic molecule cloud material, sort of like black holes, right? So, continuing on from that, next line. There's an artist named Cannabis, and I listen to a lot, and he has a lyric where he says his DNA was shaped like a series of sideways eights. Space-time is converted to time-space. The sound wave signals look like ocean tides when they ripple. So from the viewpoint of an observer outside of a black hole, time is frozen, right? So like how we look at the stars and they look like they're still shining, but like they've already died, and they don't really move unless like we're rotating around them. So for an example, an object falling into the hole would appear frozen in time at the edge of the hole. Inside the hole is where the mystery lies. So a mathematical molecule that combines the 3 dimensions of space and time into a 4-dimensional continuum. The 3 dimensions of space of height, length, width, and the 4-dimensional space of time, the box inside of this length, width, and height is time, and that gives the direction going forward. And then there's another artist, his name is Nipsey Hussle. And Nipsey Hussle basically has a lyric where he goes, I don't know if y'all know Nipsey Hussle, if you've heard of him before. I know some people in this class have. So he says, I'm integrated vertically, y'all blew it. They told me hustle, dumb it down, you might confuse them. So if you look at, do you have a piece of paper?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna rip a piece out. So if you look at paper, where Nipsey Hussle says, I'm integrated vertically, y'all blew it. So basically the blue line on the Cartesian graph, like how paper is like this flat plane right here, the length. And then y, the x-axis would be red, right? That goes up. So that's what I assumed he meant when he said I'm integrated vertically, y'all blew it. Like, you know, I'm fiber optics, right? Like I'm the red line that goes up in space-time, and y'all just blew it. Y'all go, you know, forward and back. So, but if you look at this paper, it has an XY graph where the x-axis is blue and the y-axis is red. I believe Nipsey Hussle was referring to this in relation to his gang affiliation with red and blue. And we also have red and blue in the flag and everything like that. So you go to the next one. So in conclusion, I would like to draw a biological parallel. Our black pupil, which has the phenotype and genotype of a black hole, a phenotype is something's physical characteristics, and a genotype is its genetic code or its behavior. It's both round and black like a black hole, which is its phenotype, its physical traits, and genetically curves space and time, right? So space and time bends through our pupil, right? So our sclera, which is the white part of our eye, reflects light. So, and also as in a white hole, things come out of the white hole, right? It reflects what comes in and then it goes out. So, in a white hole, matter and light can escape. It's time reversed, while black hole sucks in objects and white hole spits them out. Our black pupils suck in light, and our white sclera of our eye reflects the light and spits it out. One thing I want to leave you with is that from the pupil of our eye to our fovea, which is the middle of our eyeball that holds the light our pupils receive, there is a 3.4 millimeter gap between the two. And interestingly enough, from the surface of our sun to the corona rays is the reciprocal numerical value 4.3 in million miles. Maybe we exist as black holes from a superstar like the sun that has already exploded in the 4th dimension of time, seeing that time appears to stop at the event horizon of a black hole to the perspective of an outside observer. Thank you.
Okay, so the project I did for this semester is